Hello and welcome back to the Fortnightly Q&A. My name's Lumin and right now we're answering us some questions. And I'm still super excited about the fact that I called it the Fortnightly Q&A. It's just working. It's working for me. I love making the thumbnail because I get to see the word Fortnightly. I love doing the introduction because I get to say the word Fortnightly. It's great. We are currently listening to the Starbound soundtrack because, well, it's the one I had open when I started recording. And I should probably put out a little disclaimer that, well, firstly, I just ate oats. So if I spit some oats out, or if it gets like stuck on my mouth or something, I apologize. Truly I do. I had just plain oats with full cream milk, and it was so good. I started getting myself full cream milk recently instead of fat-free milk because, well, I'm skinny. And I think that full cream milk is the healthiest way of adding that fat to your diet. And, well, it tastes really nice. And it costs exactly the same as fat-free milk, so why not? Having a bit of full cream milk, loving it. Also, the real disclaimer that I wanted to put out there was that I didn't really organize the questions in any specific way, but you can, as always, find those timestamps below. So just check those out. Use them. You can also find a full list of questions, so if the timestamp itself isn't enough, check that out too. Tales of Jason Fury. Hello Lumin, I wanted to ask about how you met Helene. I understand if you don't want to answer the question if it's too personal. It's definitely not too personal, and I would love to answer it. I met Helene almost 8 years ago. No, you know what? Longer. Probably about 9 or 10 years ago at a LAN. And it was love at first sight for me. She didn't even see me. She didn't see anyone. She was apparently just super nervous staring at her PC because, well, she is just a little bit awkward in social situations. Not so much anymore, but she was very much so then. And I fell in love with that girl that I saw there. And I knew that one day she would be mine. It was amazing. It really was. And then I think about a year, maybe a bit longer than a year after the first time I saw her, we actually got together, and the rest is history. But we met at a LAN, at the Organized Chaos LAN in Milnerton, Cape Town, and there were probably about 200 other people there. I was there with friends, she was there with her brother. I'm obviously still good friends with her brother as well, and it was good. Those were good times. Actually going out to LANs, to play games, to socialize. She wasn't there to socialize, I was. But hey, we're different people. We somehow gravitated towards each other. She needed some convincing though, but I convinced her. Anyway, moving on. Mulder22. Lumin, did you hear about the rumor that Telltale Games was making a Game of Thrones game from the Song of Ice and Fire universe? Yes. It's no longer a rumor because this was actually, you know, from 2 weeks ago, this question. And I can, I guess, just tell you briefly how I feel about it. I don't think that they doing the right thing with working on so many games at the same time, because Telltale are now currently working on Walking Dead, The Wolf Among Us, Borderlands, and Game of Thrones. But I will say that the Game of Thrones game would be much more appealing to me personally if it has very little to do with the story that's happening in both the book series and the TV series. So if it follows perhaps a different character, a lesser known character that is maybe well liked, character that the players, us, could either relate to or enjoy playing as. But I think it needs to follow a different character, a different storyline, but maybe just parallel to what's happening in the main Game of Thrones story. It could be fun seeing things from a different perspective. I think so. I really do. But I am kind of excited. More so about the Borderlands game and The Wolf Among Us, but still kind of excited for Game of Thrones. Then, Celtic Uchu. Steam games. I've noticed there are a lot of games in your Steam account that you haven't played at all. Are there games that you just don't have any interest in or any time for? It is 100% the latter. I was having a discussion about this on IRC the other day, and I just feel like nowadays I'm not getting as many games done as I did back then. Back then being before I started YouTube. Before I started YouTube, I finished games. I finished a lot of games. Just like this. That was a failed snap at the start there. My finger got caught on my other finger. I'm being honest with you. It was a terrible snap. But I finished a lot more games. I just played more games in general because I had more time. I was doing homeschooling. I kind of just tanked my work as quick as I could so that I could have more time in front of the PC afterward. I even finished most of my schooling a year early. I only had maths, just that one subject from 17 to 18 years old, and hey, I had an amazingly good time. But I did spend much more time playing games, and I actually finished them. Nowadays, I just don't have the time because, for instance, today I realized that I wasn't going to fit everything in that I wanted to do. I need to re-level my characters in Reaper of Souls because they got wiped. I want to reacquaint myself with some of the goodies going on in Starbound. I need to practice hardcore for the Blood Bowl League I was invited to, because I know zero about that game. So if I even win one match next week or whenever that actually starts, then I will be happy. I will be so impressed. I'm going to practice hard this weekend. I'm going to watch as many tutorial videos as I can, but I realized I needed to do that today. Then I had to still record stuff, so I had to get back into Hearthstone, see if I wanted to fiddle around with some deck building or if I wanted to do Arena. I decided to do Arena, so I recorded about 3 videos today for that. I recorded 2 episodes of Skyrim, which was super fun, but it was another hour of my day gone, as with Hearthstone, which was about an hour and a half of my day. And then I still needed to finalize my news episode today. I had some really big news coming my way about a Blizzard event that could potentially be happening. I'm not going to spoil anything about that though, because I said it's on the down low. Slightly hush-hush at the moment, but I will let you guys know as soon as I can. I had that to deal with. I can't even begin to list all this stuff. There was also the Tales of Lumin episode that I recorded about Paperbird, and I'm recording this on Friday night at 11:23 p.m. where tomorrow morning at 7 we need to wake up so we can walk Nero, and that we can be ready at like 8:39ish to go with a friend of ours to Somerset West to watch the new Hobbit movie. Now I suppose that's not really work, that's more leisure. I'm super keen to see that, but you get what I'm saying. So nowadays I have much less time. My days are full of all sorts of stuff, and then added to all that stuff that I do there's stuff that I also want to do. Like, I want to reply to all the comments that I can reply to. I want to go through all the nice messages I received about Germany and moving there. Oh my goodness. So nowadays I'm just not getting the time to play and finish all the games I want to. And on my Steam list, there are so many games, even on my desktop, that I just want to jump into. Let me just open Steam for a second so I can talk to you for a mere moment about some of the amazing releases that came out that I want to play. Teslagrad. That looked so good. I want to mess around in RPG Maker. There's a new one. Oh, no. Not another RPG Maker. Then added to that, a couple of early access games came out that I was so keen for. Like, not even a couple, a lot of early access games. Wasteland 2, 8-bit MMO, Pixel Piracy, Dungeon of the Endless. I'm so excited about that game. And these are games that I don't even have yet. Now, if I move over to the ones that I do have. Baldur's Gate 1 and 2's Enhanced Editions. Oh my goodness. Batman. The entire series. I've not played any of the new games. I haven't even spent a singular second in any of those games. I've been wanting to jump into Dead Island and Dark Souls. Dust and Elysian Tale. Feel bad for not playing that. Fallout. Now with Fallout 4's announcement, I want to play more Fallout. Final Fantasy 7 and 8. I don't have 8 yet, but I've got 7 and I really want to play it. Hammer Watch is something I wanted to play with Helene. Oh my goodness. I got about 80% of the way through Max Payne, then I just couldn't bring myself to finish it. There's Outlast that I need to still record more of. Remember Me. I played a good amount of Remember Me and I had a lot of fun. Wow, I must say Remember Me was good, but I never got to finish it. I've still got it installed. Ready and Waiting. Saints Row 4. Shadowrun returns. One of the games that I've enjoyed the most this year, and I haven't even played that much of it. That's probably going to end up being on my top games of the year list, along with The Wolf Among Us. I've got The Witcher here, Tomb Raider. You see what my problem is, and I must sound... I don't know what the word would be for what I sound like, but kind of bad having all these games, listing them to you guys, and not playing them. But it's not on purpose. I want to play them, and I appreciate the gifts that I get, because I do get gifts. I do. And then someone also asked me, is your wish list up to date? And for the most part, it is. Because a lot of people, and I get it, they feel more comfortable rather instead just donating a game. They give me a game. They don't want to give me money because money is not the same. Giving a game is more of a gift. Money is something that some people would say, well, if I give you money, I'm paying for your food or whatever, and I don't feel comfortable with that. So instead, they give a game as a gift, and it makes sense. But my wish list is for the most part up to date. At the top is Thief, the new Thief. I've just gotten so excited for that over the past little while. That game looks so good. I'm so tempted to do a full Let's Play on that when it comes out. I have been trying to stop myself from starting any new Let's Plays, but the new Thief, man, I want to play without the UI. I want to play it on a reasonable difficulty level, not too much, and I want to just get immersed. Archery, pickpocketry, lockpicking, all the good stuff that I want in a Thief game is in that Thief game. Then there's Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, Dying Light, Call of Duty Ghosts. Anyway, there's a lot of stuff, okay? So I'm not playing the games because I don't have time, and I wish I could spend more time playing them. I really do. Then, another question from Celtic, or Celtic Uchu. YouTube changes. Oh, YouTube changes. To keep things simple, YouTube's new content ID system is a mess. Angry Joe has been one of the more notable YouTubers that I follow that's having a headache of a time with it. Has anything of yours been hit? Have you had any problems with this in the past? Yes, I have. And for the most part, I just haven't bothered disputing the claims because they are on kind of minor videos. But there are a couple that I'm going to send through to Polaris for them to dispute because they said that we could do this. And this is going to tie in with a question that is coming up a bit later. I know it's there somewhere. But copyright notices, the ones that got hit in this latest set was the first part of my Metro Last Light playthrough. And I want that resolved because it's by this silly entity called Shock Entertainment. And then my Saints Row character creation was also hit. Those are the only two recently. If I go back through here, the other stuff that was matched was all Blizzard related in my... Yes, all Blizzard related in my Pulse episodes and Newsman episodes. Well, there's nothing in the Newsman. I've become wiser. And in Newsman, with the latest news episodes, I know how to kind of work around it. But if I look at some of the other ones here, or the older ones here, there isn't that much. I don't have that long a list. There's one in Skyrim, and I don't even know how that happened. Howcost claimed it. So that shouldn't be. But otherwise, there is one or two claims on Deus Ex, one or two on Skyrim, one or two on, or at least a couple on Assassin's Creed Revelations. I don't know when those were claimed, but I know that they're claimed by Ubisoft. And Howcost again. Wow. So I don't know, maybe I will dispute these, but for the most part, it hasn't been that serious, because the stuff that was claimed, it's all as far as I can tell, slightly less important to me and my channel. As for in the past, I kind of just answered that, but the important stuff, so if I do upload something and I do have a problem, then what I do is I either just take it down immediately and re-upload it, either without what was causing the problem or in a modified version. So it's something I get to work around for the most part. Doesn't bother me too much, but for people like Angry Joe, it's been such a nightmare. I watched his videos on it, talking about it, and I gotta say, it's just ridiculous. It is. If you couple this with the new monetization things coming next year, which is actually part of the next question, I think it's just getting a bit out of hand. But here we go. Multi-channel networks and partnerships. If I recall, you've said that Polaris isn't going to be making your channel a managed channel. I don't think they're making many channels managed at all. I think they're going to probably be about 10 or something on the gaming side of things. PewDiePie, obviously, Total Biscuit, probably Dodger, Jesse Cox, maybe. I don't know. A couple of the bigger ones. I know Force, for instance, wasn't. Angry Joe wasn't. But maybe I'm pushing it with Dodger and Jesse Cox. Maybe they won't be. But a couple of the bigger ones, they will get this managed status. Now I've got something in my eye. I apologize. I gotta rub this out. And the rest of the question, as this could mean days or potentially weeks of waiting for a video to get approved for monetization, what is the benefit of staying partnered if you have to give a cut to Polaris when they offered you before instant access to monetization? And this is obviously no longer going to be offered to affiliates. So, me being an affiliate, I won't get that. But I think it is, just as I said before, the kind of thing where we can't tell just yet. We gotta wait. We gotta wait and see how bad it really is. Maybe their trust algorithm or system or whatever is gonna work. It's possible. It really is possible that it'll work and get our channels in that trusted list quicker, thus allowing us to monetize stuff quicker. But I don't know. It could be really, really, really bad, especially for someone like me with slow internet. It could be terrible. But on the other hand, it could be just a minor headache at certain times. Because I think I remember hearing that this is not going to be on every single video. It's kind of going to be like a spot check system, but I might be wrong. I guess I'm just hoping for the best, and we're going to wait and see what happens next year. I said before that if it's too bad, then I'm going to seriously have to consider how I'm going to do things going forward, and then my move to Germany is going to be that much more important. And that much less likely, because I'm going to be making much less money. Then my parents will say, no, that ain't happening. So it's a really tough situation to be in, but I'm going to try and make the best of it. Then, oh, as for the one question, the benefit of staying partnered with Polaris, they are still doing things for me. They don't do quite as much as I think many think they do, but I am, for instance, playing in the Blood Bowl League next week, which is one of the first events that I've actually joined up with. And honestly, I don't think I'm going to get much out of that, but it should be fun. But they do have, and I have recently started speaking to their EU department, they do have a lot of people that are willing to help, especially if you go out and ask them for help. They will still take a cut, though. They will take a cut, and I think that they're going to work hard to try and make this work for their partners, both managed and affiliates. So we'll see. Again, I'm going to just wait the lot of this out, and come January, come this big set of changes, I will report back in. Then, Janko Kraus, what do you think of e-toll? Good question. I'm going to keep this kind of brief because it's not a super big question for international viewers. I don't know if this is an international thing, but in South Africa they have a thing called e-toll that they're setting up on some of the bigger highways in some of the more developed areas. I don't think it's happening anywhere near us. I think it's happening up in Johannesburg and Pretoria at the moment. But what it is that they're setting up these sort of like toll gates, but they're not really toll gates. They're setting up these waypoints on the highways where when you drive through it automatically charges you money, and this is to work on the road to keep them in good shape. Okay, so this is going to work by forcing people to get chipped cars, or chips in their cars at least, that have a certain amount of money on them, and then the money gets automatically subtracted. I don't know what the amount was that they charged, but I honestly think it would be a great idea if the government knew what they were doing with the money. If we had a less corrupt government, I guess. It would be a great idea in a first world country. A country that knew how to handle their money. But I think in South Africa it's a disaster. I don't think that even a fraction of that money is going to go towards actually fixing the roads. It's going to go somewhere else. It's going to disappear. No one's going to hear from it again. And that's pretty much it. I think it's an amazing system, but I don't think South Africa can pull it off. Then, Freppy. Greetings from little old England, Lumin. I love the videos and your accent is pretty amazing, I have to say. I just have a few questions. Firstly, thank you, and secondly, let's get to the questions. I don't know if you said this before, but is Lumin your real name? Sorry if it sounds stupid, and if it's somewhere else easy to find. I'm just curious, to be honest. No need to answer if you don't want to. I just haven't heard of it before. So Lumin is actually a name, but usually they spell it Lumen. I know that the girl in Dexter was called Lumin. It's a girly name. My name is not Lumin. My name is Sven. Sven. S-V-E-N. I just usually say it Sven or Sven. No, I don't say Sven. Sven. I say Sven as you would say S-W-E-N. It's a tough one though. But that's my name. S-V-E-N. Sven. I hope it's not disappointing in any way. I think it's a strong name. 2. If you were writing a novel or any kind of book / production, example film, game, etc., what kind of genre and setting would you make it? I am a fan of sci-fi. I'm a hardcore fan of sci-fi. I love sci-fi. I love it so much. And the setting would be sort of a grim sci-fi, a semi-post-apocalyptic sci-fi. Bam. Or bam. I don't want to hit too hard in case I break something, but that's it. Sci-fi is the way forward. I started watching Almost Human, the series, and it's kind of fun. I'm really enjoying it. It's just another little sci-fi extra for me. I'm also still watching Battlestar Galactica. Don't even get me started on that. I just haven't had time to watch all of it. But I'm a sci-fi nut, and I would absolutely love to work on something sci-fi at some point. Maybe it'll happen. Guleko. You seem like a very positive person, so I wonder if you've ever rage quit games. Or screamed at them when you feel like you're just... Oh, when you feel like they're just screwing with you. For example, Spelunky makes me rage quit all the time. I often die from rocks I threw at myself. But the game is so good I keep coming back to it. Do any games do that to you? And are there any games that you have rage quit and never returned to? I don't think that that's ever happened with me. I even played Super Meat Boy and I thought to myself, well, this is tiresome. Because I kept dying. Like, literally over and over again on the first level. But it ended up being fun. And I didn't really rage quit, no. No. I have a very strong stomach when it comes to stuff like that. I generally tend to see stuff that would make you rage quit more as a challenge. I don't know. I don't rage quit, no. It doesn't happen. Hasn't happened probably for many years. If it did happen in my youth, I don't remember it. So there you go. It doesn't happen to me. Sketchy Tass. Hey Lumin, I'd like to hear your thoughts and speculation on the next Mass Effect game. I'm so glad someone brought this up because I do have a bit to say. So Sketchy Tass here says, personally I would enjoy a game where you get to go more places, visit more planets and explore a lot more. Let me tell you that's probably going to happen. I would also enjoy a more in-depth character creator and the possibility of choosing another species to play as. Turian, Drell, Krogan, Quarian, etc. Having that option would change the game from being character-based, Commander Shepard, to having the player choose what kind of character they want to play as, and what kind of adventures they would like to embark on. Yes, but you gotta keep in mind that that would change the way the game is played. And the way Mass Effect is played is pretty amazing. Keep that in mind. Unfortunately, BioWare is not known for doing this type of game, so do you think it's a possibility, and what are your thoughts on the subject? So, now, I do think, one, the gaming world in general is just gravitating toward more open world, more sandboxy, more freedom to the player. So even if they still restrict you at certain points, they will give you more freedom at others. So yes, I do think we will see much more freedom in the next Mass Effect game. At least I do hope so. That's on my Mass Effect wish list. Then, as for what I'd like to see from the game, I would like to see different characters, but it would actually be good if they could fill the same role. So if you could still have that epic story that Commander Shepard had, but obviously not the same one. What I want to see from the next Mass Effect game is a prequel. That is actually what I would love, is maybe we could go back to the point where the humans jumped forward with their technology. Maybe where they discovered the Citadel. Maybe where the first contact occurred between the humans and the other races. That would be exciting. Now that would obviously mean you'd have to play as a human, because it would be way too difficult telling that story from all the different angles. But that's one idea that I'd love to see. The other idea would be something more open world. It would be something more free, where you could play as all those different races. But again, that would also have to stick to a semi-central story that would be similar across all the races. But I think they can do it. I think they can, and the only sad thing about all this is that we won't be seeing the next Mass Effect game for quite some time. And if I had to be realistic about it, the chances are, so those are my hopes and dreams. My predictions are more just that we'll see another Commander Shepard being born with a different name and face, fighting a different battle. That's what I kind of expect. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But I would like them to go a bit crazy with it. And I think that the gaming world is ready for it. It is. Especially with next gen happening for consoles. They could do them all at the same time. They can fit a whole lot more in there. But next question. Black Assassin. Which European countries would you like to visit? All of them. Moving on. No, but seriously, I would like to visit all of them. And the next question from Anthony. A question. If money were no object, where would you travel and what would you do in those places? What would you... Oh, who would you bring and how long would you want to be away? So, firstly, right now, I just don't like going on holidays because of YouTube, because of my obligations to it. But let's just put that aside and say if money were no object, if YouTube wasn't a problem, if I could do it on the run, then I would take Helene with me, I would take Nero with me, although taking Nero on a plane wouldn't be nice. It wouldn't be. So, there's always that. But if we again had to just say if I could theoretically go anywhere, I was recently speaking to Helene about this and I said that I desperately wanted to go to China to visit the Great Wall. She didn't like that idea at all. She thought there was nothing to see in China. She'd rather go other places. I personally would love to go to China. You know, there's a long list of places I want to go. Every single continent has at least a couple of countries that I would love to go to. South America would be amazing. Absolutely amazing. The US, there's so much to see there. You guys are lucky with your country. It's great. It really is. In Europe, don't even get me started. Just don't. Even Africa has some countries I would like to visit at some point. Asia, oh my goodness. All the countries. I would take Helene with me, and I wouldn't want to spend too long in each location, but I would want to go to a whole lot of them. As for what I would do, I would just live the tourist life. Explore, have fun. Right now, though, our dream is currently just to move to Europe so I can stream and possibly have more success doing that. Not that I haven't been having success in the past couple of days or weeks or months or years. It's just that I feel like I would be an amazingly good streamer. I'm not like tooting my own horn or anything, but I just think that the way I do my commentary is well suited to that, and I think that the viewers of my stream would love it. And I would love to interact with them. Live. Would be great. I think I would seriously tear up the streaming world. I would obviously need a starting point, so a popular game to start on, but I do think that streaming is my calling, and I'd love to make it to a first world country at some point, to live there, to stream. But at the moment, money is an object, and it's a problem that we're going to try and deal with. I'm going to work as hard as I can over the next couple of weeks and months to try and earn enough per month that my parents will be happy enough, because this was sort of like a loose deal that they want to make. They want property in Germany right now, and we haven't really discussed this very much, but they want a holiday house type thing, so rent won't be an issue, but the living costs will still be there. We will obviously look after the place. We will keep it in tip-top shape, keep it ready for them to visit whenever they want to, but we'll stay there. We'll have Nero there, we'll have fast internet there, we'll be closer to, well, everything, and it'll be great. It'll be something different, a new chapter in our lives, our married lives, by the way. We'll be married by then, and I think that it's something to strive for us at the moment, so we'll see. There are a lot of things that can help out with this, like if I get my t-shirts up at some point in the not too distant future. I'm trying to get through the t-shirt people, because we've been in contact, but for the last week and a half I haven't heard anything from them. They sent me some designs. I kind of okayed them. I said, let's do this thing. But it seems like they're on holiday or something now. I don't know. It would have been great if I could have got the t-shirts up before Christmas. Maybe I still will. Maybe I'll pester them. We'll see. Anyway, I went off track there. Let's see if we can get back to the questions right now. Greg Mandrelas. Lumin, I got a very serious question. Have you ever watched Pokemon? And if so, what was your favorite from seasons 1, 2, or 3? I haven't watched much Pokemon. I watched season 1. I watched Pokemon when it first aired. So back in the day when the first season started, I watched it then, and that was it. I've only watched the first season. I watched little snippets of the later seasons, and I love it. I'm going to, at some point, get myself the full Pokemon collection and just watch it all. That's what I'm going to do. Malfurion82. I like your background. What are the pictures of? So, this is the Skyrim map. You can't really see very well in the dark now, but you can see it in all the other videos I put up. Those over there, so those 5 are Guild Wars 2. This is the Diablo map of Sanctuary. This right here is the Normandy from Mass Effect. It's got to be there. The longer one over here is the Tapestry of the Ages from the Ultima series. It's got a little piece of art from every single Ultima game in, and there aren't any new Ultima games coming out, so it's complete. I got that with Ultima 9 when I bought it, and those 2 over there are from Dishonored. That's Piero's Remedy and Sokolov's Elixir, and I'm proud. I've got the map of Britannia over here as well. I want to add something Hearthstone or Diablo, or maybe Hearthstone. Maybe Hearthstone's better. So some Hearthstone art perhaps that I really like. Get it printed, put up here. Because those 2 over there I printed myself. I got them framed myself and they came out really nicely. So why not? Next. Oh, and final question. This is the last one. Greetings, Lumin. I was wondering if you know about WildStar. If so, then what are your thoughts and will you try it? So the WildStar NDA dropped recently for select members of the press, and sadly I'm not one of those members. I'm not in the beta. I'll just say that straight up. I'm not in with an NDA or without an NDA, but it's been looking much better recently. It's been looking a whole lot more fun, and I am interested. yes, I want to jump in. I want to do a character creation video. I want to at least see the starter experience, see what the beginning of the game feels like, see how the game feels with my latency at the moment. But if we move to Europe at some point, maybe that won't be a problem. I do like the look of it. I want to check it out extensively, and I'm excited. I don't know about Elder Scrolls Online versus WildStar. WildStar has been looking really good recently. Elder Scrolls Online also kind of nice, but recently slightly less nice. We'll have to see. We'll just have to see, but I am probably going to try it out. I'll probably do a video or two on it. But that's it. I'm done, and I've gone through all the questions. You can check back here soon, in 2 weeks, for the next Fortnightly Q&A. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave them about anything. About life. About Lumin, about games, about love, about Germany, about traveling, about whatever. Feel free to leave them and I'll try to answer as many as I can because I like it. Hope you guys had an amazing weekend. Hope you guys are set for a perfect week. Give this video a like, share it, and do all that other good stuff. Subscribe if you haven't already. Most importantly though, happy leaving those questions and happy Fortnightly Q&A. Happy that.